Morning. How you doing?
No, go.
I've been invited to one of the community meetings in Chaparral. And you know how vocal they are about the cannabis and stuff. Sure. No, not at all. I didn't know. Well, anyway, they want me, I know Reynolds is on vacation.
Congratulations.
Reynolds has been going to meetings. But
Did you
would
see?
it, is there any,
Is this the one who,
Phil?
as long as I don't say, yeah,
I'll
I
send
agree
you.
with you guys, or something like that.
You can keep that. And then send it out.
Yeah, that's one of the things, anytime we say,
Because it's actually pretty interesting that Martin said.
it is, or what he did.
Yeah.
What he did, yeah, no.
Yeah, I was telling them that Chaparral wants me to go
Good.
to the community meetings on Monday. I just didn't want to.
Yeah, I guess he can,
He's a
but
judge.
is it right? You know, it's up to higher court.
I'm here to listen, I'm not gonna make any.
I don't think they're gonna.
I'll send it out.
Okay. I'll send you an electronic version.
Exactly.
Thank you.
Yes.
Well, yeah, the
And so
quorum.
it's, yeah, because that actually qualifies as important. I used to have those issues with school boards. They would have things like,
We had those conflicts with the city when we had a community meeting.
sure.
We had to post ahead of time that there would be possible.
This idiot calls me yelling at me about
Well, it looks like we got
the
another.
dispensary downtown. I'm
That's
sorry, I caught me in the mood and I was like, are you stoned right now? You're stoned. I mean, I just,
Are you at the dispensary right now?
yeah, I mean, it was like, but there was a bar across the street and we ended up.
This is the one next to the new middle school.
Have we heard from Mel?
Second time I told him, still, it doesn't take any more hours. And I just, I also want to know who gave him my number. That was the other. They're probably sitting around somebody like, you call Steve.
Do you have your name and number on your signs for realtors?
I do.
Ah,
There it is.
Maybe. Oh, no, I mean, my number's probably just got to Google it.
yeah.
I just found it. That was a good one. I went,
And it won't be the last one.
I know. Well, I mean, that one was kind of, I guess that was, I read the comments on the Sundays page. I'm like, oh, this one
Yeah.
riled some folks up.
When I was superintendent over in Deming, I had a guy call me complaining about how they paved the road. I'm like, wait a minute. I think you're calling the wrong guy.
Okay. Are we not hearing 55? One of these cases was delayed.
Yeah, there's gonna be some changes to the agenda.
Okay. So let's go ahead. A couple things. Number one, if you'd make sure you have your phones on silent, I'd appreciate it. And second, if you'd like to speak in favor or in opposition to, I think it's case 006 we're going to hear?
Yes, 5A, item 5A.
Yeah, the Troxler case. If you'd sign up with Eileen over here, I'd appreciate that too.
Will you please turn on your microphone, Albert?
And then just make sure everybody's microphones are on.
Testing, 1, 2.
Yes.
I think we're okay, huh? There was a voice from, and Mel's, yeah, Mel's not on? Mel's not, okay. No Mel. Okay. Eileen, you want to call the roll, please?
Commissioner Zargis,
Present.
Commissioner Thurston, Commissioner Herrera, Commissioner Montañez,
Here.
Commissioner Lear,
Here.
Commissioner Acosta, Chair Zarniak.
Here.
Thank you.
So we need to approve or change the agenda. So I think we're changing the agenda and we're postponing case SD 21-055.
Chair Zerniak, that's correct. We're requesting that SD 21-055 be postponed to the last meeting of May, and that's just to meet notification requirements for that one.
Okay.
Move, does that require a move to approve?
We just need a motion.
And it's going to be date specific to May 26th.
Okay.
Mr. Chair, I move to approve case number SD 21-005 to our May 26th meeting.
Second?
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Thank you. Approve the minutes for P and Z regular meeting of April 14th, 2022.
Mr. Chair, I move to approve minutes, P and Z regular meeting of April 14th, 2022.
I'll second that.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed?
Aye.
Same sign?
Aye.
Thank you. And there's no old business. So new business, case SU 22-006. Albert, I think you have the floor.
Morning, Commissioners. Our first case is a special use permit.
Good morning, Albert.
Good morning, Eileen.
Please state your name and address for the record.
Albert Casillas, 845 North Motel Boulevard.
Do you affirm the testimony you're about to give today is the truth and nothing but truth under penalty of law?
I do.
Thank you.
Commissioners, our case today, it's for Shane Troxler. He's the applicant, owner of Astrobuds LLC. The property owner is 55 Properties, Inc. This property is located in Chaparral along McCombs Road. It's 308 McCombs Road, building number 2. The zoning out there, it's T5, Town Center. And the request is basically to reduce the direct line measurement requirement of 300 feet to a residential area. And this is in order to operate a cannabis retail establishment. So you might recall that in the code, there's some distancing requirements for schools, daycares, but residential areas are also one of those requirements that they have to be 300 feet away. Here's the location map. Basically, it's on the corner of, it's close to the corner of McCombs and Hermosa Drive. And here's the land use aerial on this corner. This is where you have the Steyer's supermarket. There's a Family Dollar back here, a gas station, and a couple of other businesses here. And then you have an auto zone on this corner. Not showing on this property, there's a new Chaparral steel building right here. That's also kind of like a light manufacturing business. You do have a residential mobile home here, another one down here, and there's a site-built home. Kind of highlighted on here as part of the property, there's also a vacant mobile home on there. I think if you look at the narrative, the applicant stating that the current owner has no plans of occupying that. So it's a 1-acre property in T5. When you look at the assessor's office records, the existing 624 square foot building was built around 1988. It is assessed as non-residential. There's a septic tank on the property. There's water being provided by Lake Section Water. And then just looking at the history of this property, back in 1989, there was a special use permit to operate a flea market. From there on, the property pretty much stayed commercial. Other businesses on this building, on this specific building, have included Talk for Less Wireless, pet grooming, there's a thrift shop on there, and a coffee shop. Those are some of the buildings, or some of the businesses that I was able to find business registrations for. And that's out of this specific building. Property was acquired by the current owner last year in August. McCombs is a county paved road. And other building on sites, 308 McCombs and building number 1 currently is operating as an office for Progressive Insurance. And they also take in utility payments for El Paso Electric and New Mexico Gas. And just to point out, that building, it's going to be this little building right here. So this is right here. This is number 2, where the applicant's trying to get the special use permit for his retail establishment, and that's building number 1. But this is the one that's in question today. And I should have just gone to the next slide, but basically here's a clearer picture. This is the subject building right here, and that's the other building that's currently taking in payments for Progressive and El Paso Electric and all that. And you'll get a better picture once I show the photos that were taken on site. When you look at the zoning map, basically everything's T5, mostly T5 along McCombs. This is where you have the auto zone, across Hermosa Drive. Everything else outside of this corridor is pretty much T2 or T3. So on the request itself, the SUP was submitted last month on March 22nd. When you look at the applicant's statement, he's stating that he's going to comply with the operating hours as outlined on the county code, which is 7 a.m. to 12 midnight. He's estimating that there's going to be between 50 and 150 clients a day. 6 to 12 clients per hour are expected. Vehicular access to and from the site will be done leveraging the existing driveway from McCombs Road, and the existing parking lot will be used for customer parking. So he's stating that changes to the building include cosmetic changes to the existing structure, and those include interior, exterior paint, signage, exterior patio maintenance on existing appliances and equipment. The site plan or survey/site plan that was submitted is basically calling out the existing building. But here we basically get an idea of what's actually out there. So this is the subject building where the applicant's trying to run the cannabis establishment. This is the building number 1 where they're currently taking in payments for El Paso Electric and New Mexico Gas. We got a vacant mobile home out here, and then we have an additional building out here. You look at the aerials, they've been out there for years, probably since the 80s that they've been out there. 14 letters of notification were sent out. Everything was posted on the Sun News as required by the code, and signs were posted on the property in a timely manner. No correspondence in favor or opposition were received for this SUP. These are the signs that were posted on the property, one towards the front and one on the building. And those were the properties that were notified. So now let's look at some of the pictures. That's the subject parcel. I mean, that's the building right there where Mr. Troxler's trying to open up his cannabis establishment for retail.
Albert, can you go back one slide, please? I'm sorry, one more. Back to the, right there, thank you. So these parcels here, 3, 8, 4, are they all, they're still town center zoning, correct?
Most of them are. Let's go back to that zoning map. So let's see here. If you count from the subject parcel, 1, 2 properties up.
Thank you.
So most
So
of those
all of them are T5.
Yeah,
Okay.
T5 out there. And that's the 300-foot buffer. So within the 300-foot buffer, you can also see that there's existing mobile homes, and also including this cycled home down here. So these are just some of the other structures on site. This is that building number 1 where they're currently taking in payments This is that vacant mobile home, and that's the other vacant building on the back. And this is just across McCombs, kind of looking into the property right here, and you can kind of see everything that's on site right now. The subject building, current building where they're taking in payments, vacant mobile home, and the other vacant building. You don't see this building on your aerials. That's the next property to the north, and that's Chaparral Steel. And then kind of looking south, you get to see the gas station that's here for Steyer's. You see the Steyer's supermarket back here, and then there's a Family Dollar right behind it. And then down here, there's an AutoZone. It's kind of like what the intersection of McCombs and Hermosa Drive look like.
So, Albert, on the left-hand side of that picture, is that a site-built home?
Yes, if I go back to the aerials, that's this home right here.
So there's 1, 2, 3, 3 homes that are within the 300-foot buffer.
Yes, sir.
Okay.
And I have another slide coming up. And then here, you're just also looking along McCombs Road. So when looking at this case, we got to look at the UDC when it comes to special use permits. We also look at cannabis establishments, the section that we created during the cannabis amendments, and the glossary for some of the definitions, and also the decisional criteria. Decisional criteria includes addressing potential traffic flows and impacts, the need for new commercial activity, potential water and sewer needs, existing infrastructure, any environmentally sensitive areas, the impact of the proposed SUP, and implementation of best management practices. The section in the code that talks about cannabis establishments, here, this is a section that says you can't be 300 feet from any school or daycare, or 300 feet of another cannabis retailer or residential area, unless, you apply for that special use permit. And under the definition of cannabis retailer, we have a licensed person that sells cannabis products to qualified patients, primary caregivers, reciprocal participants, or directly to consumers. And that's just a summary of what I've already talked about. It is a 1-acre property, T5. There has been business registrations for existing businesses out of this building number 2. I talked about what the applicant has planned when it comes to operating hours and clients that are expected to be on site.
Albert, go back to that. So what does section 350-502G4 say about, no, go where there it is, second, there, the very first line. What does it say about time of operation?
That's what I was going to go back to. I was going to go back
I'm sorry.
specifically to that section right here. And basically, cannabis retailers may only sell cannabis products for off-site consumption between the hours of 7 a.m. and midnight. So basically, the applicant's stating that for his operating hours, he's just following what's under this section. The 7 a.m. to 2 a.m., that's just for consumption on site, but that's not what's being applied for today.
I have a question. Is there more than, there's already a business there on that lot?
Yeah, the one that I called out on as building number 1.
You're right. And
That's the one where it's Progressive Insurance, and they're taking payments for other companies.
is it going to continue to work even if this one is approved?
I haven't heard otherwise.
Can you have 2 businesses on the same lot?
On the same lot, currently, that's the only business right now.
The what?
That's the only business operating right now on that lot.
Yeah, but I mean, can you have 2 businesses operating in the same lot at the same time?
Sure.
You can,
The code that says you can't.
without it being subdivided or anything like that?
Yeah, you can look at it as kind of like a little strip mall. If you have a building and there's different businesses running out of there, you can, right across, right south of them, you have Steyer's supermarket and a gas station. Within the gas station, there's also other businesses there, so. It is allowed.
Plus, that building, the building that's proposed has been used for a number of other businesses prior.
That's correct, yes.
Okay.
And then, of course, we know that the cannabis regulation bill was passed last year. We adopted our codes for cannabis. Retail sales started at the beginning of this month. The applicant states that the production side of this business is going to be offsite. It's going to be at another place, and from what I understand, it's in Otero County. But I'll let the applicant address that part of that. So surrounding residential areas is what's requiring approval of an SUP. And then, of course, under the T5 land use classification matrix, it does allow for the operation of cannabis retail in a T5, but they have to meet all the criteria, and that criteria, being 300 feet from any residence, and that's why we're here today. There's one mobile home approximately 270 feet, another home 220 feet, and I'll show you a picture of that right now. Other commercial uses allowed in a T5 zone by right without any distancing requirements. You can have apartments or condominium complexes in a T5, commercial laundry, convenience store, gas stations, retail facilities, bars, taverns, wine tasting rooms, auto-related repair, commercial child and adult care, and also light manufacturing on a T5. And then here we're just looking at the kind of like a cheat sheet that we have for cannabis. Under retailer, we have a P under the T5, but they're subject to all the distancing requirements. When it comes to addressing the decisional criteria, traffic impacts are minimal. There's going to be 3 to 5 people employed on site. Access is off of a county maintained right of way. The cannabis regs were passed back in last year. Retail sales just started on this month, so the applicant is growing his operation off site, and then so he needs a retail location for his operation. So this is kind of like a little drawing, kind of outlining some of the distances. That's the subject building right here. I'm not even measuring from the edge of the property line, but from the building itself, there's an address point right here at 216 feet. You have 270 down here. You have
373.
373 on that one, so that one's a little bit out. The distance to the existing mobile home on site, it's 67, but that's the property owner's property, and he's already stated that there's no plans to have that one occupied. So just looking at these measurements, we can tell that there's residences nearby. Even though everything's T5, there's still residences there. Lake sections providing water. There's a septic tank on site. So the infrastructure is there to support the proposed use. There's no evidence that there are any endangered or rare species of animal and plant life in the area. The impact, like I've already stated, there's been other businesses on site. When you look at the surrounding existing businesses, that they're all commercial. You got a supermarket, you got a gas station, Family Dollar, AutoZone. So this proposed use will be consistent with the surrounding uses. And then applicant will implement best management practices that are identified, noted, and included in the reviews and conditions required for the SUP during the remodel of the existing building. So we do believe that the applicant complies with the decisional criteria for SUPs. Your findings are included on your packet, but I do want to note to number 4, where staff believes that they do meet that requirement for decisional criteria. It is consistent with the health, safety, and general welfare of the residents. The property is zoned T5 Town Center, and the property is located in the commercial corridor. It is within 300 feet of a residential area, and it's not within 300 feet of a school or daycare center. And then also the P&Z can impose any conditions to the special use permit to protect the public health, safety, and welfare. So for our recommendation, we are recommending conditional approval, basically stating that any improvements, any structures, any new construction proposed for this establishment, it will be required to meet all applicable construction, fire, and life safety codes. We're also looking into having the applicant obtain a driveway permit from county engineering, and this is to address access requirements. When you looked at the photo, you pretty much noted that it's all open there. So we want to have a controlled access on there, and they're going to have to work with engineering in order to obtain that driveway permit. So those are our recommendations.
Can you go back to their photo?
Yeah, actually, I'm gonna go back to this one here. So basically, everybody that drives into that property, you're just driving through anywhere on there. There's really no designated entrance or exit. So that's one of the reasons why we're calling out that the applicant work with the county engineering to obtain that driving permit.
So what do you want them to do?
Have one access point on here.
Are you requiring them to landscape or to fence that?
If that's going to be required by the driver permit, then that might be a condition on there.
So that engineering would make that.
Yes.
Okay, okay.
And that's the end of our presentations. We sent for questions, and the applicant is here as well.
Mr. Chair, I have a question.
Yes.
In the state law on cannabis retail locations, is there any requirement to have security fencing around? I know there's some pretty tight rules about security. Does it include in the exterior perimeter be fenced in or somehow blocked?
As far as I understand, there's nothing in there for retails, for an existing building. I know they have to have security cameras on site. They have to have like a secure room inside of the building.
Right.
But that's about it. But I think Shane might be more up to date on
Okay.
that requirement.
Thanks.
Dan, did you want to hear from Shane on this? Yes. Shane, can you come up, please? No. Sean, I'm
Sean.
sorry.
Man, it's Shane.
It is
No,
Shane.
Sean.
Oh. Do you want to speak to Sean?
Yeah, I'm sorry. I got my W's and N's mixed up. Yes, sir. Eileen,
Please state your name and address for the record.
Sean Vick, 845 North Motel Boulevard.
Do you affirm the testimony you're about to give today is the truth and nothing but the truth under penalty of law?
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you.
Mr. Chair, Commissioners.
Okay, my question is, I noticed in the photo that it seems like the property's pretty wide open.
Yes, sir.
And as Albert said, there's really not even a designated driveway at this point.
Correct.
So I'm just wondering if it makes sense, in order to create the entrance and exit, and also to make it a more secure property, if there's any kind of regulation or anything about fencing for a business like this.
Not that I'm aware of, no, sir. Just like any other retail cannabis establishment or retail establishment here in Las Cruces or the county, it doesn't require that. Outdoor grows, indoor grows, things like that, according to the Cannabis Control Division, do require fencing, security cameras, and things like that. They do have security bars on there. One of the concerns with fencing a property like this would be fire access as well, first responders, fire as
okay.
well. So the driveway and having one point coming in, making sure that the fire truck can get in if need be, first responders, would probably be the only thing that we'd really be looking at. Really wouldn't be a building issue, and there's nothing else that I'm aware of.
Okay, all right, thanks.
Yes, sir.
thank you.
Yes, sir.
Any other questions for staff? Mr. Troxler?
Yes, sir.
You want to let Eileen swear you in, please?
Yes, sir.
Please state your name and address for the record.
Shane Troxler. And you said, what was the other
Your address.
address? 813 Windmill Drive.
Please raise your right hand. Do you affirm that the testimony you're about to give is the truth under penalty of law?
Yes, I do.
Thank you.
Thank you.
The floor is yours.
Yes, sir. So today we're here requesting a special use permit to basically reduce the line from the 300 to 250, basically 250 feet. And we feel like in Chaparral, this would be the only logical place to put a dispensary, based on, how the town flows and that this is the main commercial downtown area of Chaparral. And so that was the main part in picking this location, plus the facts that it wasn't next to any schools or any daycares or anything like that. We wanted to make sure we followed that. And we did secure the location a little early before the county put out their rules. And according to the state, we feel like we are away from the schools and the, what do you call them? Daycares, thank you. And so according to that, we have followed everything, and then the residential thing popped up, so we had to apply for the special use permit. But like I said, it's a T5 zone. We plan on, bringing jobs to the area, tax revenue. It also helps the residents so they don't have to drive so far to Sunland or to Las Cruces to get their medicine. We plan on enhancing the structure, making it look nice, and like you said, with the driveway and stuff. We plan on doing something like that anyways to enhance the area, and make those improvements. I think it'll be nice for the city once we're done with it and everything. It's a small retail place. It's going to be an in and out, quick, fast food type deal. We want to get people in and get people out. We can't have that many people occupied in there in the first place. So, it's not going to be a large operation, I don't think, hopefully it does well. We do have a grow operation already. We are permitted from the state where we have our vice permit. So we're vertically integrated for producer, retail, and manufacturing. That is off-site, as he stated. It's still in Chaparral, but it's on the Otero County side. So we have some land out there. We have a couple greenhouses. So we are producing. Like you said, the property has been used for commercial before. There's been, dog groomings, I believe like a cricket place, phone place there. So it has been used for commercial, plenty of times before. And so that's what we're requesting, if we could, get in there and have a place to put our product. And we've looked everywhere, there's nothing else. There's nowhere else to go for us. We've looked in other parts of Chaparral, and like there's schools and there's the daycares, and then Sunland's all taken as well. And we are local to that area as well. So, we feel like, staying over there is good for us too, getting started. We're a couple young guys, bootstrapping this ourselves. We don't have big money behind us. And so we're out here just, trying to put it together, trying to, join the community in the cannabis industry and, build something for ourselves and our families. Other than that, any questions you guys have for me?
Questions?
Yes, sir.
I have a couple. I noticed in the packet, you're talking about putting a patio in outside.
Right.
Your plans don't include consumption down the road, do they?
No,
on
sir.
site?
No, it's not. It's not big enough place for doing a consumption. The point of the patio was basically since the place is so small, we want to give people a little waiting room area so they can, wait out in the patio, and then we can call them in one by one, because we can't have too many people in there at once.
Okay. At present, the mobile home is unoccupied.
Right, and it's owned from.
It's also 80 feet away, which is pretty close.
Right.
Do you have plans to use that mobile home? Are you going to take it off-site?
It'll be used, if anything, as an office, like an office space. It will not be rented out. You're talking about the one on site, correct?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that one, with the owners and everything, it will not be rented out for anyone to live there or anything like that.
Oh, okay.
From my understanding, they want to use it as an office building.
Okay.
Yeah. But it is vacant right now.
Yep. Thank you.
Questions? So it says that you want to operate from 7 a.m. till midnight. That's what it says in the ordinance, but Is that when you plan to be open to the public?
I don't think we're gonna be open from that 7 to midnight area. That's just according to the ordinances that we can be open at. But, we're probably 10 to 8, maybe 10 to 10 on the weekend, but we don't plan on staying open till midnight.
Okay.
Yeah, that's too much security risk, at that point, and then, just, we feel like that's a better operation out of ours.
Okay. Anything else? Thank you.
All right, thank you.
Eileen, let's start at the top of the list.
Tim Erling. Please state your name and address for the record.
My name is Tim Erling, 496 Greenwood Road, Chaparral, New Mexico.
And do you affirm the testimony you're about to give is the truth under penalty of law?
Yes, I do.
Thank you.
All right. Morning, staff or commissioners. I'm coming in opposition to this business. I guess it didn't get publicized as well as the last one on Paloma Blanca because there's only the two of us this morning. But my wife and I have been missionaries in Mexico now for almost 25 years. And I just wanted to read a passage from the scriptures. It says, all things are lawful for me, but all things are not expedient. All things are lawful for me, but all things edify not. There's a lot of things that are lawful or legal, but they don't necessarily are not expedient and they don't edify. These are two principles that were found in the Bible, whether you take it as the Word of God or just a collection of wise sayings. But the word expedient comes from the same word as expedition. And so when we can look at this, is it expedient? Does it bring me closer to my goal? And I'm talking about the goal as a community. Does it bring us closer to the goal, or is it an anchor that holds us back from progressing? I do know there are medical uses for marijuana, but this is for a retail establishment to sell recreational marijuana. And I don't see any way it can help our community. The few jobs that it might provide and the tax revenue it might provide does not directly affect our community, does not help and I don't think it's expedient. And then it says edification, will it build up or will it tear down? Just like many legal things like entertainment or recreation, there's a type that can build up a community and there's a type that can tear down a community. And I don't know if there's an oath for commissioners, but I would believe that if there were one, it would have to be, the oath would be for the benefit or the good of the community. And I can't see any benefit to the residents of Chaparral for having this type of business. And just because it may be legal by the state or county doesn't make it good for our community. I'm not talking about a question of legality. We know that the state's already approved it. But just like many things that are legal, smoking tobacco products is legal. But you can't do it in an airplane. You can't do it in a courtroom. There's many places you can't smoke cigarettes. Now, I would say, and the reason behind their logic in that is because it affects other people. If you smoke in an airplane, it's going to circulate through the system, and it's going to affect other people. Just as alcohol is legal, we know the detrimental effects of the abuse of alcohol with drunk drivers, spouse and child abuse, and addictions. And the reason that it's so highly regulated, all these businesses, because of the effects it can have on other people. One thing that was failed to be pointed out in the proposal is there's also a bus stop that's from the corner of the property is maybe 30 feet. And it's for the rural bus that runs through Chaparral, not a school bus, but it is a bus stop. This area is heavily congested already with the grocery store, the gas station, and the way they built a new median in the middle of McCombs there. It's a highly congested area. People are supposed to exit onto Hermosa from Steyer's, from the grocery store, and then get onto McCombs, but they don't. They built the median to try to prevent people, but people go the wrong direction coming out of Steyer's grocery store, go the wrong direction for a few feet before they get onto the right side of the road. And that's right in front of this business, proposed business. I believe that it will increase congestion in the area and increase accidents. I don't know if anybody's ever looked at the accidents and things that have occurred there, but they do occur in that area. Chaparral's limited as far as our law enforcement, being it's not incorporated. We don't have a police force. We depend on the Doña Ana County Sheriff in this area and the Otero County Sheriff in the other place. We don't have even a dog catcher in our town full-time. If we have loose dogs, which they're all over the place, we have to call animal control here in Las Cruces. So we're talking at least an hour before they could be out there. And I just don't see how it can benefit. There's also a church in the shopping center by the gas station that's within 300 feet of the property. And I fail to see that it would help our community in any way. The sign that was shown in one of the photos announcing this meeting, the one on the building itself is still there, but it's set back from the road, hard to see. The one that was on the sign close to the road has been removed. I don't know when it was exactly removed, but it's not been there for a few days. It was there, because I even took a picture of it to know of the date, but it was removed at some point, which according to the sign itself says it's not to be removed except by authorized person. Another problem with marijuana is a cash business. They have to deal in cash, and that can create other problems for theft, break-in, and I just speak in opposition as a resident of the community, and I hope you take that into consideration. I honestly believe that to approve something like this that will be detriment to the welfare of our community is an unwise decision, that is not expedient and it's not edifying to our community. Thank you.
Thank you. Eileen?
Kelly Erling. Please raise your right hand and state your name and address for the record.
Kelly Erling, 496 Greenwood, Chaparral.
Do you affirm the testimony you're about to give is the truth under penalty of law?
Yes.
Thank you.
Good morning.
Good morning. You want to
Well-
would you lower the microphone?
Yes.
Thank you.
Okay. People say we get wisdom by experience, or we should learn from our mistakes. Some do, some don't. As a mother, which a man doesn't know how a woman, a mother, or grandmother thinks, neither does a woman, mother, or grandmother know how a man thinks. So the only thing I can do is say what I know. I didn't have to teach my kids how to do wrong. I had to teach them how to do right. And my husband and I made a lot of mistakes starting out. We have more wisdom today than we did 39 years ago. But how is it wise to put a marijuana shop across the parking lot of the main grocery store in a town? And you know, one of the rules is it's not to be within 300 feet of a daycare. but women take their children into the grocery store. And there's teenagers that go in the grocery store. It's not wise. And why is it within such close distance to a grocery store or a houses? You know, I can get as close as I want to the edge of a mountain if I choose to. How close do I have to get before I fall? I don't want to find out. And who's going to be responsible for the first wreck of a person buying it and then killing another person while under the influence of the marijuana? Is it going to be the marijuana shop owner? Is it going to be the county of Doña Ana? Is it going to be the state of New Mexico? True wisdom is looking at a situation, looking at the consequences, avoiding it, and not experiencing it. And I'm opposed to it, not only because, well, I mean, yes, I'm a Christian. I'm against it. I don't think we should put things in our body or smoke things that we shouldn't. But I don't see, like my husband said, that it's going to benefit. It might benefit the state in whatever money they get, but it's not going to benefit Chaparral. Thank you.
Thank you. Anyone else, Eileen?
No, sir.
Okay. Any other questions or comments?
I have a question.
Fernie?
Forgot your name. You said there was a church within within 300 feet of the area?
Mr. Early, wait a minute. Can you come up to the mic, please? Thank you.
Yes, sir. There is a church that's in the shopping center that's in front of Steyer's. There's a gas station on the corner, and then there's a couple other businesses, and there is a church that started there. I'd say maybe, there's been a couple churches in there, but there's one that started within the last 6 months that's in there right now.
To staff, can you?
Thank you, Mr. Early.
Thank you.
Albert?
Is there, on the picture, is there a location for that church and how far it is from the business?
Not quite sure, but I think they're calling out the gas station's right here, and there's a couple more businesses around here, so the building's partitioned into different businesses. So there might be one here, right in here. And then just to remind the commission that our distancing requirements only address daycares and schools and residential areas. And that's just not us, but that's also, I mean, that comes from the state regs. So that's why, that wasn't, included as part of the analysis. But we don't have any distancing requirements to churches.
Can you show where the bus stop is?
Give me a second. Oh, so just as a point of reference, here's, it's going to be around this area right here. And let me go back to the aerial. It's right here. So this already here, that's already the property line for Steyer's, the gas station and the supermarket. They already have a controlled access point in here, and I believe the bus just comes in here, picks up people, and then just exits back out.
That was what I was referring to. Can I show you on that picture?
Show what?
Well, just show you see where the bus stop is, right here. The church is right over here. But this is supposed to be the exit from Steyer's. You're supposed to either turn right or come out behind this building on Hermosa. But what people do illegally, I might add, is they come out of this driveway and exit to go northbound on McCombs. And this is supposed to be entrance only, and this is supposed to be exit. And you see how they built this median here? That is what, and that's what causes problems, people exiting here as people are entering here. And this is where the entrance to the property, that question is.
Thank you. Anyone else? Do we have a motion?
Mr. Chair,
Steve?
I would like to make a motion for approval of SU 22-006 based on findings of fact and staff analysis. I would like to add the make this a conditional approval with the following conditions recommended by staff. Any existing structures and new construction proposed to be used for cannabis establishment will be required to meet all applicable construction, fire, and safety codes, and the applicant shall obtain the driveway permit that's been recommended by staff as well.
I'm going to add one thing, that hours of operation when they would be open to the public are 10 to 9 on weekdays, and on Saturday and Sunday, 10 to 8. Okay?
Sounds good.
Thank you.
Thank you.
I'll second.
Mr. Chair, could you repeat those hours, please?
10 to 9 on weekdays and 10 to 8 on Saturday and Sunday. So we've got a motion to approve with the two conditions by the staff let me just read this. Any existing structures and new construction proposed to be used for the cannabis establishment will be required to meet all applicable construction, fire, and life safety codes. And 2, the applicant shall obtain a driveway permit from county engineering to address access requirements. And then I added the hours of operation. And we have a second. Any further discussion?
I second it.
Yep. Eileen, call the roll.
Commissioner Zargis,
Yes.
Commissioner Herrera, Commissioner Montañez,
Yes.
Commissioner Lear,
Yes.
Chair Zerniak.
Yes. Motion approved. Thank you very much. Administrative approvals. None? Okay. Any other staff input?
Chair, I just wanted to give you guys an update. This week, we had BOCC, and we had 2 appeals going before them. 2 appeals of Planning and Zoning Commission cases that you guys decided on. One of them was the Firefly Group Home off of Snow Road, and that one was denied. They upheld the PNC decision to deny that request. And the one on Paloma Blanca, that one was sent back to the PNZ. Without getting into any more details, so you'll be hearing this case again on the 26th as well.
Okay. And then, okay. Anything else?
Mr. Chair, I did want to point out that Commissioners Acosta, Lear, and Montañez were reappointed by the Board of County Commissioners on Tuesday. And we also have a new commissioner, Arnulfo Castañeda. He's the former mayor of Anthony, and he was on the Planning and Zoning Commission in Anthony as well. So he will be joining you at your next meeting. And we will be also conducting new commissioner orientation on the 13th.
So is he taking Thurston's place?
Yes.
Okay.
So that's a 2-year appointment.
Okay.
And then I'd also like to congratulate Sean Vick. He passed his chief building official exam.
Well done, Sean.
So he's official.
Chairman?
Free?
Janine, what was that comment on Costa? I didn't hear it.
Oh, that he was reappointed. Yes.
Thanks to those 3 commissioners for reapplying. I appreciate that.
And we have no cases for the next meeting.
Okay.
Can we just show up here and hang out?
Can we? No.
Janine, when is that, our next case, the one that was sent back to us from the commissioners?
That'll be the 26th,
The 26th of next month? Okay.
yes.
I just have a couple things. Number one, I gave Albert a copy of Judge Martin's opinion on the Fairway Village case in Picacho Hills. He upheld the Planning and Zoning Commission decision to deny, right? And that was a reversal of what the BOCC approved. And you'll get a copy of that. I'm going to send that out.
I'm sorry, if you can refresh my memory, is this the RV storage?
Yes.
Okay, thank you.
The other thing, I want to recognize Albert, who was promoted to senior planner. Well done, Albert. Well deserved.
Congratulations, Albert.
Congrats again, Albert. Thank you.
Is there anything else? I think we stand adjourned. Thank you.
Thank you.